Hello, welcome to Western Shop Talk. Today is going to be the first part of a multi-part series where we're going to draw what we're going to call a snack shack or a bar that you'd use in a backyard, which will be basically like a little shed with a bar in it. And so we're going to start with a new part studio, and we're going to go to a top view. Now, I'm going to be using a number of techniques that are going to be intended to help you save time through being able to mirror and use linear patterns. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up a sketch and we're going to select the top plane by clicking on that top plane. And we are going to just simply draw a line. And so I'm going to draw that. I'm going to make sure that it is where it's blue and yellow so that we know that it is vertical, perfectly vertical. And then we're going to take our dimension tool, which is up here, or you can just hit the D key. And this bar is going to be 8 by 8. So we're going to just click that and make that 96 inches. Now I'm going to need to zoom out some. And so the next thing I want to do is I want to set it 48 inches from that center point. So I'm going to go and click here and click here, and then I make that 48 and hit enter. Zoom out. Now the next thing I need to do, if you notice that the endpoints are still blue, I need to figure out how I need to define how high it is from that X, or rather the Y of 0. So I'm going to go with my dimension tool. I'm going to select the end point, and then I'm going to just select my, what would this be? This would be, I think, my front plane. And I'm going to go and make that 48, hit enter. And so now if you see, I've got my piece of wood here, my line. It's going to be a piece of wood, but you're going to have my line, which is 48 inches from center and 48 inches from center this way as well. I'm going to hit my green check now. So now I've got this one line from sketch 1. Now I'm going to use my beam tool. If you don't have beam tool installed, then check out my video on how to install the beam tool. But I'm going to go with beam tool, and I already have timber and lumber selected, and then 2x4. So now all I need to do is click this one line in my from sketch 1. So now I'm going to go and take a look. If you look at it kind of from a side profile, you'll see it's flopped over on its side. So I'm going to go and actually it'll be easiest. I'm going to just come up here to angle, make that 90 degrees, enter. So now it flips it up on edge. It already is pulled in, which I want it to be, or it wasn't, I guess it was centered on it. So I pulled it in so that it is centered on the line from sketch 1. And then I'm going to pull it down so that the top of the 2x4 will be flush with the top plane. And I'm going to hit green check. I'm going to go and get ourselves back to a top view. So now we're looking at the top of that piece of wood. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to mirror that, because this is going to be the first stud that's going to be part of our flooring, our first floor joist essentially. So I guess technically it's not a stud, it's a floor joist, but I'm going to come up here to the mirror tool. I'm going to click mirror, and entities to mirror. It's going to be beam 1. And then for the mirror plane, I'm going to select the right plane. And as you can see, it lights up down here when I select it. You can either click on it here, or you can click on it up here. Either one will work, but I'm going to click that. That's going to be the mirror plane, so it mirrors it off of that. So it's going to be the same thing that's on this left side is going to be exactly the same on the right side. So I'm going to, once again, green check. You do that green check anytime you're finishing something up, and then you are going to have something that looks like this, where I've got those two parallel 2x4s, which are going to be exactly 48 inches from the center. In fact, if we want to go down here, select our measuring tool, I could select that line, select the outside of there, and you can see it is 48 inches. So That will be the end of this video. Stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to continue to lay out the floor. Part 2 is going to be a bit longer because I will be working with a live class as I do it. So you may hear me stop and answer some questions, or stop for the students, in which case you just feel free to skip ahead a little bit if you need to. And once again, also you can pause it if you're trying to do this at the same time as me. Go ahead and feel free to pause it as you go as well, to catch up and bounce back and forth. I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.